Hey everybody, my name's Abby McCormack, so I'm just going to open today's session with a karakia. Minoi tātou. Tuka te wairo ki te riri ki ngā taumata. Ha araha I te tātou mahi me te tahu whaia ia ngā tingata kia rātou mā, kia mā kia eti, kia kio I te ngaro, kia purpuri, kia whakamoa, ki tēnā, huie, taukie. So that just talks around allow our spirit to exercise its potential to guide us in our work, as well as in our pursuits over ancestral traditions, take hold and persevere, ensure it's never lost, hold fast, secure it, and draw us together. Because today's session is all about relationships, who we are as individuals, but also where do we come from and how do we move forward from here to actually build some friends in our workplaces and in the community. So a little bit about me. So kia ora, my name is Abby McCormack. I am from Christchurch, also Tahi, and I'm a registered social worker here in the community. I have a private practice as well as working for Ignite Aotearoa. Why I'm here is because in my practice, I have to be really aware of the use of myself and the use of the relationships and connections I have with people across the motu, as it really strengthens the work that I do. It also allows me to take hold in monitoring my well-being, checking in with myself, making sure I'm on the right track. Generally, I'm actually pretty much an introvert, so this is way outside my comfort zone, but actually it also really energizes me in being able to connect with others and talk about our shared intention and authentic selves, who we are. How do we work forward from here? As you're probably all aware, as humans, we're not made to be alone or live in isolation. We actually really benefit from the connections that we have with one another. So the last few years with COVID, with pandemic lockdowns, with other things going on around the country, actually we are in isolation. So society's actually really struggling. I'm not sure how much you're all seeing this in the work that you're doing, the real need to actually reach out and connect with one another. Okay, so importance of self. You are the expert on your own lives. And what I really want to encourage in the first part of the session today is actually, how do you tune into you? How do you tune into your body, into your thoughts, into your feelings to actually have a chance to respond appropriately and not live in a reactive way? So in checking in with ourselves, one way that I wanted to work through with you all today is taking a few moments to do a self-body scan. So being able to actually have a look at who we are and taking that moment to check in. How do we know what's actually going on within our bodies? How do we know what it is that we're responding to? So what I'm going to encourage you all to do, depending on where you are right now, actually is just making sure that you're sitting in a comfortable position, taking note of where you are. And what I want you to do is sit firmly in your seat, have your feet grounded on the floor, be in a restful place. Okay. So once you're there, if you feel comfortable to do so, you could close your eyes, just be mindful, looking at the screen if you're wanting to, if you're in front of the computer, and just taking some deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, paying attention to where you are in your body. From there, wanting you to then feel into your body, feel down into your toes. What is it that you can feel? In your feet, can you feel the hard ground? Are your legs jittery? Are you anxious and holding some tension? moving up into your core, into your body. How does it feel? Are you hungry? Have you had your lunch yet? Or are you having some food now? Do you need to get up and have some water? Coming up into your heart, is there a space there that you need to respond to? Something going on for you? Coming up into your head, what's going on inside your head? Is it noisy? Is there conversations happening? Are there questions, to-do lists being written? What's happening for you? Take a chance just to quiet that down. Have a way of being able to respond to that. So taking these moments to feel, like you all would have heard, what are 5 things that you can feel about your body right now? What are 4 things that you can hear going on around you? Can you hear the chatter of people in the office next to you? Cars driving past? What are 3 things that you can touch? Are you like me? Do you like to tattoo with a pen whilst you're talking? What's 2 things you can smell? Is that coffee or your lunch sitting on your desk in front of you? And then as you open your eyes, what's that 1 thing you can see? So taking time to actually really connect with yourself. What I'll do is send through Ignite, I'll make available a list of a script that you can do a body scan and connect with yourself more often. Other tools I like to look at, apart from these guided meditations, would be things like journaling. And again, I've got stuff going on. What's important? Why am I responding like this? Using the Ignite portal, doing those well-being questionnaires, checking in. Actually, has your mood been fluctuating over the last few weeks? What else is going on at those times? A really simple tool I like to use is I like using our HALTs. Are you hungry? Are you angry, lonely, tired, or something else going on altogether? So having a real quick reminder, halt, what's going on? That's right, maybe I'm a bit hungry, need to have something to eat before I do something else. Also within the portal, here's some great reads around how you can care and use that power to celebrate and to make new habits. Your journey to well-being, kete, and how to be your best self in relationships. Those are articles that are readily available within the portal. So once you get to know and can recognise what's going on for you, where things are at, looking at actually, how do you build those connections? So talking about our connections, thinking about within our adult lives. The expectation is that we like to make friends. We might have friends that we've known since school. We may have friends that we know from work. Research shows that actually we only generally have 5 close friends or intimate friends in our life as adults. It's actually difficult for us to maintain any more than 5 very close intimate friendships as adults. We then have relational connections and relationships. So these might be people who are at work. These might be people who are in our social connections. And then we might have up to 150, even more people in our collective networks around us. Why do these matter? Connections matter. Research done through loneliness.org.nz shows that statistically, when we aren't lonely, when we have some authentic connections, we're more likely to be healthier and happier. If we have these connections, we're likely to live a longer life. These connections help us build a sense of security. They can be our support system if we need them, and also sometimes give us a sense of purpose. So this living virtual engage in, actually, it can cause a real disconnect. So the importance is about how do we actually make those friends? How do we make those connections? And how do we actively do so? So the first point that I want to make around making friends is be genuine. Set your intention to actually want to make friends. Don't say, yes, I'm going to make friends, and do nothing different. Be genuine. Get curious to the opportunities that might come up. Have you seen that Facebook event that might pop up about attending a market, a meetup group, something that you're passionate about? Keep positive. If you're going to go into something, go in with an open mind. Go in with a, hey, got nothing to lose here. Might come out of this with a fun night, maybe even some new friends. And if you're really unsure, get a buddy. Find a friend who also wants to make more friends. Lever those relationships. Who do you know that has an active social life? Can you go along to an event with them? Lever those networks. Who at work do you perhaps not connect with, who you could have more information? As a last resort, consider some coaching or some counselling. Get some support to actually build some of those skills and practice in a safe space, how to connect with one another. We have some great providers through Ignite who are coaches, who are social workers who can help coach you and support you to build some of those skills to make authentic connections and provide that safe space to build those friendships. So the last little bit around making friends, where do you do it? Look at the connections you already have in your life. You may have your workplace. You may have your children. Who are people at your children's school? You might be studying. Who else is in your class that you're connected with? Do you play sports? Are you part of a social group, a knitters group, a craft group, a singing group? Who can you build those connections with? So build on those connections that you already have. Use the apps. So think about the apps. Bumble actually has a section about making friends, making authentic friendships in a safe place. Looking at Meetup or social.com, these are places where there are set events where you can attend in a passion area. For an example, I've recently joined a quiz night group. So I enjoy a good quiz, found a group. There's photos of the people there that show me this is who I'm looking for when I'm coming into the space. I can message, I can communicate with them first to lessen the anxiety and worry about perhaps attending the group. Facebook groups, Discord, your local community notice boards. There may be people out there that you can connect with. Building on those areas of interest that you may have already, exploring the opportunity to do some volunteer work. Is there a group that's looking for someone to collect funds? Is there someone needing a driver? Is there a way that you could connect with these groups in a safe way? Looking at spirituality, faith-based groups. Is there a church or a group you could join? Book clubs, gym, disc golf, whatever your interest may be, there's other people out there that also like a similar thing. There's a community out there waiting for you to join. With making connections, it isn't always easy. It's not always going to happen first time round. So actually find a buddy, find someone to do it with, share your concerns, say, hey, this is difficult for me, but hey, I'm keen, I'm here. So being authentic and how you do that is really important as well. So starting with knowing yourself, knowing who you are, what matters to you, and then being able to look for those intentional groups where you can have a bit of fun, you can connect with others is really important as well. So that's a general overview around how I recommend and support you to build some friendships, take note of yourself and being your authentic self, and how to build it from there. So just going back to some of the questions. Looking at how to make things more fun, relaxed and constructive. So in regards to having some fun, being constructive in the connections, think about what fun means to you. How do you share those moments of joy? I find that having, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, sharing some kai is a great way to actually relax the situation, not putting any pressure on a situation, so that actually you can then connect with one another. In making it constructive, share your commonalities. So listen to what other people are saying, share a common interest, share a common language, have a way that you can connect in that way. Hopefully that answers part of that question. How do people accept the real me at work? Absolutely. Being you is really important. Having a self-confidence in yourself first and foremost, and finding people who also totoko and support you to be that person is crucial. Perhaps if there isn't, maybe there's a perceived reluctance of yourself in the workplace, sharing to a level in which you feel safe, sharing to a level in which you feel is okay for you at work, slowly giving more and more of yourself as you feel that being reciprocated with others. How to stop being your own worst critic. That takes time, that takes a lot of work for each other. And I think that being able to sit with yourself, being able to sit in silence, perhaps even doing some journaling work, writing to yourself, recognizing I'm grateful for, whether that might be your body, whether it might be your thoughts, your behaviors. Being able to do some journaling is really important as well. And how to repair family connections and relationships. So family connections can often get quite heated and difficult at times. But again, knowing who you are as yourself, being able to be clear on what you want to say. What I've found in the past with people is writing a script to get across, having that clear understanding about what you're trying to portray is really important, so that there isn't a miscommunication across the board. Yeah. And again, if it's something that may be of benefit to do, accessing one of the providers to help you work through specific aspects of that relationship and connection. Just because people are family, it doesn't mean that they're the best people to have around you in your life sometimes. So knowing what's helpful and healthy for yourself is really important. Being able to self-correct and come around without feeling selfish. Sometimes it's self-correcting that can be about being pono with how you're feeling. So being able to say, oh, actually, you're right. I could have responded differently. I now can see that this situation is XYZ, or however it may be. Being able to reflect on a situation and come back and say, wow, actually, this was a difficult conversation, wasn't it? Being able to be open and honest with that person. I'd like another chance to have a redo of that conversation. Are you open to having those conversations with me?
Cool. Thank you so much, Abby. Did you want to close us off with a karakia?
I can do that. Mino tatou. Kia tatou te katoa. Te atawhai o te tatou reiki, ahu karati, me te araha o te atua, me te whiwhitanga ki te wairo tapu, ake. Amene.
Amene.